Oh, we're having an amazing transparency camp where we brought together a number of people from government organizations and from the open source community, from contractors, from nonprofit groups, who are all now really working with where government and the internet intersects around allowing more transparency from government and more participation from the public. And I guess I said that I invited these people here, that we brought these people together, but we really organized the event and sent out invitations, and because it's a BarCamp, anybody could show up. So it's a very interesting kind of self-selected group of who decided to come. But it's been very powerful so far to see who's here. What's not recognized is there's been pressure for many years kind of building up around the internet and the web. I mean, obviously most government sites have websites, etc., but there's been this pressure building, and I think now the dam has burst and people really want to do these activities, and we have an administration whose rhetoric is right on target about being more open, being more collaborative and more transparent. So there's a burst of energy, and I think that one really gets a sense of that at this event. Oh yes, we have brought the tech geeks and the policy wonks together, and they're not that different, you know. No, that's very much, and we did work. Sunlight and Peter Corbett over at iStrategy Lab, we did work to make sure that we were inviting some different people and making sure that we had that kind of atmosphere. Well, the relationships are the most important because nothing's going to get done in a day, and people need to feel that they can get on the phone, they can get on instant message, and they can call people up, and they can begin to work on. So the relationships are really important. I think clarity of what the most interesting questions are, what the hard problems are, what's already solved comes out of it. One thing that, a session that I helped lead, which was about the life cycle of open data inside of government agencies, really brought to the foreground how organizations need to prepare themselves for making their data open and even engage the public and engage people internally of what data should be made available and how to make it available. We also learned that that we need some more generic models of interfacing government information with the public. So it's not enough of how do we make crime data available, but it's if you're a city, if we have a municipality, what information is a municipality making available? And how do you do that consistently? So you want to make crime data available. You want to make performance data available. But this is a pattern that would be common across all municipalities or across different states. And so I think that one of the things that came out is that it feels that people are ready to try to define some more specific and generic practices and interfaces for getting at the information. Another thing that came out of our session discussion about the life cycle of opening government data was there are a lot of people that need to be talking together that still aren't. We often have it's often the case that contractors are not necessarily talking to government workers because the contractor has been hired to do the work and the conversation with the government worker stops. And so that was very clear. We don't have the interagency or the interdepartment conversations taking place so that as they're developing things, that information could be interoperable. So it's very exciting to be here at Transparency Camp and seeing different people from our government and different people from the technology community talking with one another as we're supposed to do in theory in a democratic, self-governing country. So that's, and I think that that's part of the lesson is we shouldn't be the only ones putting on Transparency Camp. This should be something that others should do as well. There's always been a utopian streak with engineers and technologists. And if you look back to whether you look to the early days of mechanical engineering and civil engineering, or you look to the early days of computers or the early days of the web, there's always this belief that we're going to improve communication and we're going to improve civil society. And I think a lot of us got distracted by the dot-com boom that took place and that people could improve the world by making better products and services and being able to buy books online, which has been an improvement, and buy dog food online, which maybe didn't work out so well. But I think after September 11th, and that came after the dot-com bubble burst, that a lot of technologists said, what do I really care about with these tools? And there was a drive towards products that had a much larger impact on people's lives, whether that was Meetup, organizing groups, or Flickr for sharing photos. And I think that we've watched a trend from September 11th of where a lot of technologists and a lot of web people and a lot of people across the country from all walks of life wanted to help out New York City and wanted to make a difference. And we learned that the web was one of the ways that that could be done. And so we can look at what's happening now in 2009 about transparency and collaboration as actually driven by people realizing the web and the internet was a platform for bringing assistance from the larger community into the act of making our society better, making it safer, and responding to the unpredictable emergencies that happen.